No, yeah, I watched it over and over and over again. Kind of forced my mom to get my own camera, and then from there it was like making little skits with my friends. Filmmaking is one of the art forms that is 100% collaborative. You can try to do it by yourself. You can keep your team lean, but you got to count on other people, right?
I'm trying to get my nervous jitters out of the way at the same time helping you get comfortable.
Someone who doesn't want to be on camera, what made you decide that this was the route you wanted to take to connect people?
Truth in the air, let it speak.
Welcome back to another episode of Creative Roots Podcast, where seeds sown become visions grown. I am your host, Tay, and today we are sitting with a very, I'm going to say interesting, because I haven't sat with a filmmaker yet. So this is an interesting topic to me. Before we get into everything, shout out to Allen Luck Studios. I would like to thank us. Dina, where are you at? Shout out to Charlotte Podcast Studio. I would like to thank us. Shout out to Art Box Charlotte.
I like to thank
I
us.
would like to thank us.
Hey.
And shout out to Mono. We're still going strong with these mics, so I'm assuming that y'all are liking these mics as much as we are. But I am going to let y'all know now, these are probably going to be our permanent mics on set. So shout out to Mono for sponsoring these mics. Thank you all for everything that y'all have done for us so far. And getting back to answering my questions so quick. But all of that out of the way, we're sitting here with Mr. Terrance.
Yes, sir.
He is a filmmaker, and I'm going to let him explain the rest of all of that to y'all, because I'm pretty sure he can do it way better than me.
Yeah. So I'm a filmmaker based out of Charlotte. I run a production company called Altair Vision. We focused on, telling stories, lifting up our community positively, telling stories that matter, opening up and being vulnerable. We don't want to add to all the negative stereotypes that, Black men specifically go through. So, my production company, what we're doing is we're trying to show us in a positive light, bringing something positive to the community, positive entertainment. That don't mean it won't be no drama, but, trying to keep it positive.
I think it's drama, a little bit of drama and everything.
Yeah.
I don't really think that doesn't have drama.
Right.
Even the Bible got drama.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
it's just one of those things. So you say you got the film out on multiple platforms right now, correct?
Right. Yep.
Can you tell them the name of? Because I don't think you said the name
So
of it.
the name
yet.
of the film is A Season for Love. A Season for Love is directed by me. It is a film about, two young people. One is a creative, that's a filmmaker. The other one's a doctor who, meet each other during a part of their lives where they have to decide on what's next. So it's that young love story where they decide, is this worth fighting for, or do we go our separate ways? And within that, things happen to make that choice a little bit more difficult for them. And it's how, we're observing how they go through that, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check this out, because I didn't know that.
Right.
Before you got here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go check that out, because I like movies. I like watching movies. I will watch a movie before I watch a TV show.
Yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of people are. Like, I don't watch TV at all. I watch YouTube, but I don't watch TV.
I think, that's the way the world is going. I think YouTube might be the number one viewing platform in the world right now.
It is.
So
it is.
That's understandable for sure.
Yeah.
Which is why our movie is also on YouTube. Go ahead and watch it.
Check it out on YouTube right now. Well, after this episode, but yes. So Creative Roots Podcast, where we sit with creatives and we talk about their journey from the beginning, right? So, which leads to the first question. What seeds were planted that got you started with within the filmmaking industry, or being a filmmaker in general?
Yeah, I think for me growing up, the first time I could remember me falling in love with film was, filmmaking was a trip to Disney World with my family. Like, my mother had bought a little camcorder, and we went around documenting that. And I kind of loved that process of just being behind the camera, documenting what I was doing. So I think that was my first love of filmmaking. But I think my love for film probably came, I'm a millennial 90s baby. I think my favorite film growing up was The Lion King. Right, Lion King, and then once I got into Spielberg and liking what he did, it was E.T. and Jurassic Park. So I kind of, my love for film and then finding that love for actually making the film started around a young age, and I kind of just stuck with it since then.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
I don't care how old you are. Jurassic Park is a classic.
It's one of the great. To me, it's one of the greatest. I mean, dinosaurs eating people will forever be entertaining,
Forever.
forever. So I mean, like the Jurassic World movies that they're making, I will go see them
Yeah.
every time they come out, nonstop, because it's just the most. It's like pure entertainment. So
I don't think I've seen a bad Jurassic Park movie.
I don't think so.
I don't think they made one,
Nah.
and I hope they don't.
I was telling my friend, I was like, it's literally the same movie 7 times at this point, but I'm going back, like no matter what. So
Right, different characters, different time.
Yeah.
You know, and then the theatrics of it have grown. Like it doesn't look like Muppets. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It doesn't look like the motorized mechanics anymore, but it also doesn't look CGI.
No, I think and I think that's what got me into it so young was I really felt like it was dinosaurs. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It suspends the imagination. Like you really think, oh, this is what they look like, back then, which, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So a young age, a lot of things take place at a young age. So your documenting the Disney trip. Did you go home and just watch it over and over? Or was it just the being in the space of being on the film and recording it?
No, yeah, I watched it over and over and over again. Kind of forced my mom to get my own camera, and then from there it was like making little skits with my friends, and kind of learning how to edit on tape, which was
yeah,
you'll never see that footage pretty much. But from there, that kind of just took off.
So I'm assuming middle school, high school, you got a group of friends. Y'all out here doing these skits. You're doing possibly even doing short films, and didn't even know that's what you were doing. You know,
so at that it was just skits. It wasn't really films yet because again, we were just out there having fun. I just felt good having the camera in my hand. So like we had the BMX bikes, and where I went to school there was like this little wooded area where we created hills, and I would just literally just film kids doing tricks off the ramp. That was the beginning for me.
Yeah, I can only have memories of that. I didn't have no camera.
Right.
We didn't get. Well, no, we didn't have a camera. We had camera.
Yeah.
You remember the cameras that were in like the little cardboard box? You had to go get them developed.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I ever had.
Okay.
And back then I wasn't into like being behind the camera.
Right.
I was just liking to be in the pictures at that point.
Right.
Which is crazy because now I'd be like, don't put me in front of camera.
No, I hate it.
Yet here we are.
I know.
So BMX bikes, popping wheelies. I'm just imagining how we did it, the pegs and all of that stuff. What was the next thing that really sparked the interest for you to make you say, you know what, I think I want to take this serious?
Yeah, I think for me it was the church. So my uncle ran a small church, and I was in charge of the plays, right? Stuff like that. So I think the biggest one was he put me in charge of the Easter play, and I'm like, oh,
that's a big one.
That's a big one. I mean, thank God for the Gospel of Mark. It was the Gospel of Mark wrote that play. I did word for word, brother. But from at that point, what it did was it introduced me to how to actually put a story together. And from there, that's when I knew I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to college for this. So, went to college for it. Took a detour, went to the military. Had some time away from filmmaking, but once that was done, came back to it. Went to film school. Kind of just really honed the craft that way.
If you feel comfortable answering, what school did you go to?
Yeah, so I went to a small school called State SUNY Oneonta. So State of New York, State University of New York. College at Oneonta, which was a small liberal arts school, and it was my major was mass production, and my concentration was TV and film. And then once I finished that, I took a certificate program at the New York Film Academy. So, and right now I'm actually in an MFA program through UCLA for producing.
Oh,
so the journey's not over, but yeah, that's my educational background in the craft.
Okay, yeah, because I went to Full Sail for audio engineering.
Okay.
And Everything else, I'm like self-taught.
I mean,
So,
yeah.
kudos to you.
Yeah, I will say you can definitely do this self-taught. I mean, there's enough resources out there that you don't have to.
Right.
I'm a forever learner, and I got GI Bill, so it's like, why not take advantage of it?
See, I don't have one of those.
Right, right.
I got a financial aid tuition bill.
I hear that, brother.
Student loans bill.
Yeah.
Avoiding.
Trying to, yeah, I get it. I get
So,
it. But,
yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, I looked at Full Sail's a great. I know a lot of people that went through there who are doing great things. I definitely did think about it. But for me, I think a New York Film Academy just made more sense.
Yeah,
So.
because I mean, I know it Full Sail is like a rapid learning. Like when I was there, the audio engineering program was like 12 months.
Oh wow.
So it was like every 4 weeks, every 8 weeks, you might have a new class.
Yeah.
But it was so intense. Like you might have lab 1:00 in the morning because that's when a lot of artists want to record their music, right? But that's from like 1 to 5. And you got to turn right back around and be in class at like 8:00, 9:00 in the morning. And then you might have another lab 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then you got another lab 1 a.m. And that's like, well, they teach you how the industry move.
Right. And it's like didactic, right? So you're actually getting that training hands-on.
Yeah.
Which I think is dope. So for sure.
Yeah. So when you were in school, did they set y'all up with equipment to like take home part of the tuition and stuff like that?
Yeah, they did. It wasn't so Oneonta wasn't a film school. So we had like DSLR cameras, but it was still good enough to get stuff made. And then New York Film Academy was a little different because that was an online program. So it was basically using what I had. But luckily at that point in time, I had, amassed some gear. So I was able to get through the program that way.
Okay. You think you learned a lot? I know it's rhetorical.
You know what? I learned they're heavy on the basics. So basically I learned in college, like in university, I learned the theory behind film, right? Which I think a lot of people skip out and think they don't need it. But it helps them, especially when I'm storytelling, it helps me understand why I'm doing what I'm doing.
The structure of it.
At the Film Academy, it's more the basics of how to put a film together. So, it's not, you're not going to come out of there and make something magical, right? But the tools are there for you. It gives you a solid foundation to build upon.
So you instantly understand, like you said, the basics, the things that make a film what it is.
Right.
Without getting lost into like the little scene cuts where it's like we don't need to see the person wake up and then see them reaching and then see the scene cut to them picking up the phone and then back. Like we'll know they're picking up their phone once they pick it up and put it in their hand. Because I've seen stuff like that and I be like, yo.
You'd be surprised, man. Yeah. And a lot of people, I need this. And I'm like, no, you don't.
You don't need it at all.
Trust your audience.
Yes.
That's a big thing. Your audience is smart enough to understand what's going on. And that, again, that comes with experience. That comes with shooting and doing the work.
So in this line of filmmaking, is this your first film or is this the first major?
I've directed 4 films to date, right? So I've directed, I did 3 shorts, and this is my first feature. Now I'm also a cinematographer, which means I actually shoot other people's movies. So I've shot 3 feature films and a bunch of short films to this point. So I've been doing it for a while, but this is my first feature film that I actually written, directed, and produced myself.
Clap that up, because man, I know just from like doing a short film, it's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
And we talking a 10-minute film. Now, granted, I kind of knew everything. I was the director, I was the actor,
Right.
I mean, because it was about me, right? To take that, my little 10 minutes, and this is over an hour long.
Yeah. Yeah.
With like real actors, you know what I'm saying? People that are passionate about this, right? How do you see or how do you work with people? Like, how well do you? I'm trying to figure out how to word this question properly. But working with other people, speak on that, because I don't think a lot of people understand that when it comes to certain things, you do need a team.
Yeah, no, for sure. Filmmaking is one of the art forms that is 100% collaborative. You can try to do it by yourself. You can keep your team lean, but you got to count on other people, right? Like you got to know I'm a cinematographer by trade, so I'm a cameraman.
Right.
I don't know audio. I'll be the first one to tell you.
Don't ask me nothing.
I don't know nothing. Hey, so I know for a fact I need to know someone that is competent. I need to bring somebody on my team that knows that. You know what I mean? Production designers. I might have this. Plus, you don't want to be stuck to your idea in filmmaking because I might have a vision. I might see it's clear, but someone somewhere has a better idea. So you have to have a team. You have to be open to collaboration. That's how things get made. I mean, certainly you can do something. I've done a bunch by myself, right? And I think they turned out great. But I always sit back and look at it and go, how better would it have been if I just brought somebody else in? Just to bounce an idea off. I might not use it. Like you might have something. I might go, oh, that's a good idea for next time. My vision might be my vision, but I think human beings are naturally collaborative and relationship based anyway. So you need people around you to help guide you and mold something into greatness.
So is nothing wrong with taking advice,
Not at all.
even if you don't use it
Right.
for this.
Right.
You know
For
what
sure.
I'm saying? I hope y'all caught that, because
Yeah.
it's a lot of things that come into, oh, I got this project, let me get it done, and then you produce it, and then people be like, what is this?
Right. And I think what you got to understand is you're not the audience, right?
Right.
I'm out here making something for y'all, right? So I need to be taking that feedback. If I just, of course, my vision has to come through, right? I'm the writer, I'm the director, all that. But at the end of the day, your first audience is your crew, right? So they have a front row seat to the emotion you're trying to tell. So like if I'm telling something and it's not hitting, I'm looking around to see how people are reacting. If their reaction is not right, okay, we got to step back. I got to look at this thing, and maybe it's what I wrote. So let me come to you and say, okay, why don't you feel this is working? Let's do it like this. So yeah, it's 1000% collaborative.
Yeah, you had that for lack of a word, that team meeting.
Yeah,
After the scene is done or the day is done, or in the midst of it, so what are y'all thinking? What are y'all feeling? Because I'm not seeing any I mean, you don't have to necessarily be like, hey, y'all ain't showing no emotion, I need to know.
right.
Like if it's a comedy, why y'all not laughing?
right. And season for Love Case, when y'all watch, you'll notice that like there's a couple scenes in there that's very dependent on how a woman reacts to a situation. So at the time, my camera assistant, her name was Christy Sessions. She was on set. I think we had 4 or 5 women on that set. I think it was not that many men. Me, myself, and maybe 2 others, but most of my crew was women. And specifically because there's a scene that's very traumatic in there, and I wanted to make sure that as a man, I understood the emotions she was going through. So as we're doing it, and I'm like, okay, I kept checking, hey, is this right? Is this right? And thankful for them, they're like, no, try it like this. No, try it like this. And you need that. That's very important.
Yeah, you don't want a bunch of yes men on set.
No.
Listen, I can't do it.
Right.
If I see something, let me ask you a question. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna ask, and you like you said, you can take it or and do something with it, or like, what, that's good, but we're gonna use that on the next one.
Right.
Because we always push for the next one.
Right.
So have you ever had anything on set or anybody on set that you were just like, this ain't it?
Like a crew person or a cast where it's like, we're not working again? Yeah.
We're not necessarily pushing it that far, but yeah, we can go there too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it happens. It happens. But the show must go on. So you push through.
Yeah.
And you just register. For me, I always register for next time. Okay. You might not be a good fit for how I work.
Right.
Or this project might have been it. You know what I mean? So but I think, as a director, producer, part of my job is to manage the set and make sure everybody's okay.
Right.
And everybody works well together. If it's disruptive to the point where it's like, all right, then conversation need to be had and we need to, maybe remove people or separate.
Yeah.
Or just take a break. come back. But if it's not disruptive and I'm just noticing that, you know what, this person might not be a good fit for the team in the future, you push on and then you just make a note of it. And,
keep it moving, like you
keep it
said.
moving. Yeah.
Because the reason I asked that is because my thing is like, just because you have a skill set, doesn't mean you're the only person that I can contact, right?
Right.
Just because you have the know-how and because we, been in lines of communication doesn't mean like you're gonna fit. It's almost like applying for a job while on the job.
Absolutely.
So like if I'm like, hey, Terrance, holler at me if you need me on the next set. And I get over there and I'm like, yeah, man, I know Terrance, man, me and him go way back like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm over here talking and, you get people that, I guess what I'm getting at is like, you need to do a self-examination and check yourself before you work on somebody else's project. Like, would you want somebody like you on your set?
Right.
And I'm a very humble person.
Right.
And I'm the type of person, I'll stay in the back. I crack a lot of jokes, but I understand when it's time to be serious and when it's time to play.
Right.
And a lot of times I definitely know, but I know some people don't get that. That's why I asked that. Just to be like, you got to know what you can and can't do on somebody else's set. And then if you are the director, you're over the whole crew, don't be nasty.
Yeah, don't be nasty. But I try to make my sets like a family. Like we have fun, we joke. When it's like when it's time to work, we working. But at the same time, I like to keep it light because I mean, look at the times we live in. It's hard out here, right? So I try to keep it light, keep it fun, but at the same time, we know we're here to work. We know we're here to get it done, and you don't talk bad about people, even people you're not working with anymore. Because again, you never know. One, where we work and live at is small. So the crew base ain't that big here. So I'm gonna run into you again. We're gonna have to work again. So it's like you know that, and you just keep it moving.
Yeah, because it could have been a one-off.
Right, exactly.
It could have been something with that person just that one time. So yeah, it's like all I'm gonna say is this is my experience.
Right.
And then you keep it moving. Cause I know there have been things where it's like, man, I can't work with this person, I can't work with that person. And I'm like, well, why? And they telling me these things and I'm like, well, I didn't have that experience
with that person. Right.
Yeah. Even with like being at work and then, the manager's like, oh, don't talk to her. She racist. And I'm like, I'm the one that she buy breakfast for. What you mean she racist? What I'm saying?
I think everyone's experience is different with everybody, right? And people just aren't a great fit for certain people. For whoever A can be a great fit for you and just don't work for me, right? But that don't mean she's a bad person. He or she's a bad person. It just didn't work out with us. But that's that.
They don't fit in, for lack of words, they don't fit inside the lines that you created. Right. So you have a circle of everybody, then you have a circle of the intermediate. That person might not fit into the intermediate, but they can be on the outside like, hey, I don't have a problem with you being here as an extra. Right. I don't have a problem with you being here as so-and-so's assistant, but for you to lead it, nah.
Right, yeah.
So I think that's a good conversation that people need to have too. That's why I brought all of that up.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So in the midst of everything that you've done leading up to this, how has your support been?
Man, great. So, I'm married, so I have a wife and a child at home. And, not only am I a filmmaker, but I have a full-time job. So, like, most of the time we're shooting is the weekends. I have a 3-year-old who is active. So, it's all about support. She's got to lean into me to make sure to know that, hey, I'm not home and you're running. You got a toddler running around the house. So it's like, she believes in me, and I mean my entire family, the crew I work with. We're, like I said, we're all a family. We all take care of each other, and we support each other. But my biggest support is my wife. She allows me to go out on a Sunday, hang out here with you while she at home with the baby.
Right.
So, yeah, for sure.
I feel special. Thank you, wife. But yeah, as a married man going through this walk of a creative, having a supportive wife makes everything else seem like, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I know when I leave, she not mad. And I know when I come back, she not mad.
Right, yeah.
But if she ain't mad, I don't care if you mad. Hey, listen, my wife still got a smile on her face. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
So listen, me and you can have this conversation, like you said, and hey, it is what it is. And it is, and I know some people not like me, because I tell people I don't care what you have to do, whatever you got going on at home or in your personal life. When it's time to work, drop it at the door. You can pick it up when you
Right.
leave. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because nobody should be the recipient of whatever you dealing with outside of what we got going on here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And again, another conversation, another part of the conversation to be had is like, yeah, you really gotta do your self-examination and do your your self-checks.
Yeah, you do. And talking about set, if you're not mentally there, right? If there's stuff going on, it's okay to say, I can't do this one. You know what I mean? Say we gonna support you. Whoever
Yeah.
you are, like, if you got something going on, the best thing you can do is let us know. Let whoever's in charge know, hey, I can't make it today. I got this going on. Instead of bringing that energy. Because when you bring that energy in, now we all affected, right? And we all
Right.
trying to do best work. And it's not like we don't want to work with you, but we one, is your health is important to us, mentally, physically. So we want to make sure you taking that time and that space to be good so you can come back and be a functioning part of the team.
Mental state goes
Yeah.
does a lot. And even as a director, the writer, the cinematographer, the gaffer,
Yeah.
if your mental is way left, you just messed up the lighting.
Yeah.
You just messed up the storyline. You
Oh.
out here recording 720p instead of 4K, 8K raw.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, you have to be. Oh, man, this is. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm liking this conversation. These are things that people don't think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, get yourself together, for lack of words, and trying to be blunt but not forceful with it. Like, you need to get yourself together. When you working with people,
Yeah.
you got to be together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got to understand, people going through things. People get sick. So you might have to reschedule. We've experienced that. All of us have experienced that. I was about to say, people don't show up with all their equipment, but you might have it. Being able to be like, yeah, hey, I'll let you hold this USB-C cable, but bruh, we know how valuable USB-C cables are.
Yes, I've lost too many. Too many things though. Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I mean, it'd be a lot that goes into set.
Yeah.
It's a lot that goes into crew.
You got to find your people. I
Yeah.
think that's what comes down. I think Issa Rae said it the best. Find your people. And I think, for me, a lot of people think, Charlotte for sure. Some people think it's cliquey, and I don't understand that. I think, again, we are relationship based. Humans are relationship based, so you find the people you gravitate to, right? You find the people you trust. So, and once you find that core group of people, though, I think a lot of these issues we're talking about go away quickly,
Instantly.
Once you find your core group of people.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's how it is with us, me and Shamar. It's just, we get along very well.
Yeah.
And knowing who can do what, knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses. Like, you're a cinematographer. I just be like, bro, I got a camera. You know what I'm saying? But I say, oh, I just do videography. And I don't think people understand that even with that, there are levels. And I don't like using the word videographer because it puts it, in a sense, it was like, you're the little man. You just record the video. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Cinematographer, let me do this. Explain cinematographer to people that don't know what that means.
Yeah, so a cinematographer, the best way I could describe it is really, your job is to tell the story visually, right? So another word for a cinematographer is director of photography, right? And our
DP.
job literally is to direct the photography, right? So you are working in collaboration with the director. And as the director is directing the talent and blocking the talent, you are what's called staging the camera and directing the picture, directing the frame. So it's really the difference between what I would say a videographer and a cinematographer is a video. You're shooting the video, right? Which can be cinematic, but sometimes it's not. You know, I mean, there's videographers who do know cinematography can level it up, but with cinematography, it's really painting with light, it's understanding light and shadow, it's understanding mise en scene, which is basically everything in the frame and how to compose and how to tell a story visually, which is the difference.
See, I'm a cinematographer.
There you go.
Cinematographer. That's what it is. Because me personally, I just don't like that title. But that's the title that rings for a lot of people.
The thing about a videographer, which I say don't sell yourself short, is as a videographer, you have to know a lot more than really. You have to know a lot more than what a cinematographer might know more technical knowledge about the camera and lighting. However, what they don't know is probably audio. What they don't know is how to run an event, like how to cover an event, because that's not the space of a cinematographer. That's the space of a videographer. So you're a lot more jack of all trades than a cinematographer. So I would, take hold of that, because that is true.
So that means that I'm back to being a digital media specialist.
There you go.
Because I do film, I do recording the events, I do audio.
Right.
I know lighting.
Right.
I know so many different things.
Yeah.
And then I still have to edit it. And I give you the best product from what was from the event or from your photo session. Because I do photography too.
Okay.
So that's crazy. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like a videographer does a lot. You know, digital media, however you want to say it. Yeah, that's a thankless job, and you have to know you have to know a little bit about the entire industry to be able to do it effectively, for sure.
And I know a little bit about everything, but I don't know everything about everything.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna sit with that one.
There you go.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna sit with that one. So in this space, right? Have you, in the midst of your support, you got any naysayers? Because I mean, most of us got at least one or two sitting in the background.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but haters, naysayers, all that. But you can't let that. I still got to do what I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's funny. So, A Season for Love. For some reason, I read the reviews, and they tell you don't read the reviews. Like, that's what they tell you. But I'm like,
Right.
nah, I want to know what they're saying about me. So I read the reviews, and we got this one that said, "Oh, the film is garbage," one like half a star rating, all this stuff, right? And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." You know what I mean? And for some reason, the negative one always, no matter how much praise we got a lot of praise. It's the negative one that always sits with you. Like, why did this person say that? And then what I'm learning to realize is that you just can't control that stuff. You know what I mean?
Can't please everybody.
Right. What I do might not work for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's fine. I'm learning to be like, you know what? I can't touch everybody, but I could touch one person. If I touch one person, if one person sees my work and they get something out of it, I did my job. So, and I live with that. I live with that praise, and that's what propels me to make the next one.
Yeah, that's what I tell people too. Like, because I do Christian hip hop.
Okay.
Well, I haven't done it in a long time. I ain't been on nobody's stage in a long time. But I tell people, I said, no matter where you are, when you are doing this, you only have an audience of one.
Yeah.
And as long as you are doing this, towards God, for God, it doesn't matter what anybody else say. Like I've been in secular clubs, and this is what I'm doing. Nobody's there.
Right.
But I'm the hardest person on stage. I'm the only person that's been up there all day sweating. And I'm the only one that when I come off stage, people are like, yo,
Right.
that's a great way to open. Or, like, hey,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But everybody else is just like, it's the same old stuff. But yeah, you get your audience of one. As long as one person, like, and I tell people too, it can't be your mom and your daddy, your brother and your sister. It's got to be somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
To me, for it to count, like they gonna support.
Right.
Yeah. Even if it's garbage, my baby, how mamas do. But you got that one person. To me, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because that one person gonna tell somebody else, and then it's just gonna spread. But yeah, them negative comments, I'd be like, based on what?
Yeah, I'm learning. Like, does it still bother me? Yeah, of course, right. But it's like, you learn that, something.
It's reality.
And I don't know what that person was going through to make them write that. You know what I mean? It could be anything. So it's just like,
They probably didn't even watch it.
right.
There's somebody that ain't liked you since middle school.
Probably. And ain't nothing I could do to change their mind. And it's like,
nothing.
All right, cool.
So you've been doing this. You've been attracted to film since a little kid. You were doing skits with your friends, and you got shorts, and now you're a feature, and it's basically on all streaming platforms, right?
Right. Yeah.
From all of that, and knowing everything you've done and everything you've been through, what seed would you plant for the next filmmaker or next creative in general?
I think we're living in a time where filmmaking is much easier than it was when I was coming up. Right, equipment is less. I think you can shoot films on your cell phone. Before, what I would say is don't wait for that reason. Don't wait for that perfect film. Right. If you're a creative and you're looking to do something, there's no better time to just do it. To just jump in and do it. I think for me, for a long time, I waited. I was like, oh, it got to be like this. And then what you realize is that it's never going to be perfect. So just do it. And that's what I would say. If if you're looking to take that step and be creative, most of us have a phone. Just pull it out and record. TikTok, Instagram, there's so many platforms. There's so many ways to get your information out there that just do it.
Right, because I mean, with like what Country Wayne does, not downplaying it, but it's like it doesn't look like he's using no big boy camera.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
right? Yeah,
So, like you said, you got a cell phone, use it.
yeah. If you got, people, we're hungry. We're starving for stories, and if you have, everyone has a story to tell.
Yep.
No matter what it could be any medium, but if you're feeling creative, you're never going to feel complete unless you try to get it out. So just get it out. So in any way you can.
Yeah. And then whatever lessons you learn from doing that one, take them to the next one and then to the next one. Because it's like Shamar always says, just get it out. Your first work gonna be garbage anyway. Just get the garbage out the way.
Get the garbage out the way.
Go ahead.
I think one more thing I would say is that oftentimes we're looking. We go to network, or we try to network, and we're looking for that person that can pull you up, right? When oftentimes that's not the person we need to be looking for. It's the person next to you, right? When you go into a networking space, it's that person that's on the same level or below you. You'll be surprised at how much work you can get done when you're pulling someone up instead of reaching up, right? Yeah, do I want to talk to the Ryan Couglers of the world, Spikes, of course, but they're not going to really be able to help me. They're busy doing stuff they're working on. It's much easier if I connect with you and go, yo, we got this going on. Let's build together. You know what I mean? That's the way to do it. That's how you network. That's how you get places. You find people at your level and you build together. And then when you're in a position, you reach down and you pull somebody up.
I'm gonna let that sit with them for a second. I tell people about the crabs in the barrel, right? I said, what if what we've been told, the crab that's in the barrel is trying to pull you back in? I said, but what if that crab that's on the outside is trying to pull you out, but you losing grip, you losing sight, you're not holding on the way that you should, or you get scared and then you end up pulling me back down.
Right.
I'm trying to bring you with me. Come on. Once I get you out, let's go back and get everybody else. But for now, let's go.
Yeah.
So I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah. That's the attitude we have. I'm always looking for who is on my level that we can build with. And then, because the problem is you can be that person that's above you. You might think they're doing well and they all over the place, right? So it's never about who's next. You'll get there eventually. But again, it's that what's that foundation like? What's the people next to you doing? Focus there first.
Yeah. We're on the same level. We teeter.
Yeah,
right
sure.
there. Let's work.
Let's work.
Let's build.
Let's work. Absolutely.
Because this whole thing is about building a community. Because a lot of people don't know who's here.
No, yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can end up in a group, but some of those people might be in LA. How much you gonna get done with somebody that's in LA compared to, oh snap, he stay in my same apartment complex, or he stay 3 houses down from my grandma, or that's my neighbor.
Yeah.
Sure. It's so many people that are and Charlotte is big.
Yeah.
But there are people here that need to network, need to work. And some people don't like going to networking events. So again, that's what this platform is for.
Yeah.
Letting people, hey, I'm a creator. I'm in the Charlotte and surrounding area.
Yeah, let's work.
This is what I do. Let's work. So
Let's work.
again, building the community.
Yeah, networking takes work. Networking takes work, and I forget who told it to me, but it's kind of a mantra I've taken up, and it's like you have to get uncomfortable being uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable, especially in the creative space, because what you're going to hear, as you move up, you're going to hear a lot of no's. You're going to hear a lot of, nah, I'm not ready. I don't want to work with you. But you got to continue to put yourself out there. And the only way to do that is to be uncomfortable, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like me.
Yeah.
I don't like being in front of the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're on episode,
Probably 40 now.
I think this
40?
might be episode 40.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's nice.
It sound right, don't it, Dina?
About 40.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So
For sure.
yeah, and every time, and I tell people, I'm like, what y'all don't understand is why I have no real intro. I'm trying to get my nervous jitters out of the way at the same time, helping you get comfortable. Because I'm like, this Charlotte Podcast Studio, I've nicknamed your favorite cousin's house, right?
It's dope. It's a dope space.
So
Yeah.
because when you come in, it's like, oh wow, like we've had people sit down and kick their shoes off and be like, I can get comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, as long as your feet don't stink, you good. And people, they come in for a tour, they don't know how to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, I gotta interview this person. And they probably looking at me like, yo, you got this big thing. And I'm sitting over here like, but we only at episode 40. And other people, like, you was like, episode 40, like
That's a big deal, man. That's a big deal.
And I guess it's because my mental is like so far in the future. Like, okay, I'm waiting on like, the 200,000, subscribers. I'm waiting on these people to contact me, and I'm waiting on this space to contact these people. And when I put it in perspective, 40 is a big number. We were at maybe episode 33 when this company reached out about their microphones.
See?
And said, hey, we love what you're doing. Try these mics.
Right.
And here we are.
See? That's dope, man. It's like, and sometimes, especially for me and my teams, we get caught up on what's next, and that we seldom get to look back and go, oh, we did that. So, for example, I mentioned, I'm part of Alter Vision. That's my production company, but I'm also part of a collective called Genesis Creative Entertainment Group. And, obviously the new year, that's our time to reflect on what we did. And I realized that I think we shot 7 projects last year. And it's like, shorts, features, and it's like, oh, you don't realize it because you're in it. But when you just take a moment and go, look at the road that, what we've done. So when you say you hit 40, there's a lot of people out here that still having ideas of a podcast who ain't started yet. So, 40, that's a big deal. For sure.
And the best place for you to record your podcast is right here at Charlotte Podcast Studio. Visit the website, charlottepodcast.studio. Shameless plug.
There we go. Yeah, ain't no shameless plug. Do that.
So listen, man. At the end of every episode, I open the floor for the guest to ask me a question. And I just hope it don't be nothing hardball. But if it is what it is.
No, okay, cool. Like, again, so we got 40 episodes. So let's say 40 episodes.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't want to be on camera, what made you decide that this was the route you wanted to take to connect people?
Because I like talking to people.
Yeah.
I like talking to people. I like connecting. Dina and Shamar both will tell you that boy can talk. He can listen, but that boy can talk. And I've always looked at things like Yo MTV Cribs or Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous, and it's like, so how did they get there? What did they do to get there?
Right.
Was it, were they spoon-fed? Was this something that they gained at birth? What's their story?
Yeah.
And that's how this whole thing was birthed. Just creative roots, like what took place for you to grow and sprout
Yeah.
And to be in front of the camera, I just be like, blinders on.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, that's why I say we having a conversation. This is not an interview.
Right.
And I have to make sure people understand, like, I'm not asking you to apply for a job. So what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, no, that's not what we're doing. Is where did you get started? Like what have you gone through? And even if you just started, what made you want to start now?
Right, yeah.
Because everything is inspirational and motivational to other people.
Yeah.
Like our New Year's episode. Dina, what did he say my nickname was now?
The minister.
The minister.
The minister.
Minister Tay. Because he said,
I like
man,
it.
one of her clients, one of her friends, he was like, Tay was preaching. I was like, I ain't think I was, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
So what made me decide to come on this side? I like to talk to people, and I feel this platform will help other people.
Yeah.
Instead of, me talking to you and, the other guests that have been on here, and it's like, so who do I share this with? Because if these cameras is off and me and you having this conversation, who else needs to know?
No one benefits from it. Right.
Nobody but us.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So yeah, definitely.
So yeah, man, that's what led me to be here.
Okay. Cool. Well, you're doing the work. We're glad you're doing the work for sure.
Hey man, look, Dina G and Shamar, they doing the work too.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely. Appreciate
I'm
y'all.
glad that, they here helping too, because there's no way I can talk to you and take pictures and know everything that you just said by the time it's time for me to get back on camera.
Right.
So, well, yeah, man, again, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you reaching out. Appreciate you contacting me.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
All that goodness, because it's different when somebody reach out to you.
And see, and that's what I mean, going back to that 40 thing, right? It's like the fact that, you out there, because, I was looking for podcasts to get on, especially when, but I didn't know what you were, I didn't know how long you been doing this? So I know you're 40 episodes. And when did you start?
May? April? May?
May and April, right? So you were kind of, when we released in June, you were kind of new. So I didn't really know. But now, several months later, I can come, right? So it'd been great. Obviously, my film's been out for a little bit, but the good thing is I know you're here now.
Yeah.
We got more work coming. So when it's time to put something out, I know where to call again. You know what I mean? So just look at that. You got people calling you now, right? So I mean, soak it all up, brother.
I guess I don't know how to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, why they keep, I'm trying to take a break. Like, can I breathe?
Yeah.
But
no, I get that. I get that.
Yeah. And I know I'm not going to be able to just stop.
Right.
Because when I stop, it's going to be like, okay, wait.
Right.
Every Thursday.
It's tough.
Every Thursday.
Yeah.
It's almost a year. Every Thursday. And some of these Thursdays, there's been 2 episodes released in the same day. I think we did that 2 or 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. But you get into a rhythm.
Oh,
At least I find it's interesting because like my creativity comes in spurts, right? Like, and it comes out weird, like 1 a.m. It's like, oh, let me write 10 pages.
Right.
And it's weird. So sometimes I got to train myself to go, no, these are your work hours. But it's hard. It's hard.
My office hours are
all
from 9 to 5. You remember that movie?
Yeah. So it's like, it's crazy, man. So yeah, ain't no office hours. It's just,
no, we don't get them.
Yeah.
We don't get them.
Yeah.
So again, man, I appreciate you for being here. Dina G, you have any questions?
Where to find you?
Thank you. I'll be forgetting about that one.
Nice.
Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Terry, Terry .Auteur, AUTEUR. Production companies, Auteur Vision, all one word. Facebook, Terrance McLeod. That's the best way to find me, man. I'm always checking my socials, even though I tried not to, but that's just the nature of being creative and what we do requires me to be on there. Again, A Season for Love is out. We're on all the major streaming platforms. We're on Apple TV, Amazon, Fandango at home, Roku channel, Tubi. Watch for free on Tubi, YouTube, all over. Check it out. Leave us a review. We love to hear what you think.
And that's it, y'all. That's this episode. So thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Creative Roots Podcast, where seeds sown become visions grown. I would like to thank us on behalf of Allen Luck Studios, Charlotte Podcast Studio, and Art Box Charlotte. And again, shout out to Mono for supplying these microphones. And we are out. Peace.
Peace.